Here are 8 things that can trigger or perpetuate neuroplastic pain or mind-body concerns. When our nervous system feels dysregulated or in danger, it can start to send the danger signals of pain, fatigue, and other physical symptoms, even in the absence of structural damage or disease in the body. Now, researchers have shown that there's multiple ways that mind-body concerns can develop. And so I made a list, and my list consists of 8 things that can trigger or perpetuate neuroplastic pain or mind-body concerns. Also, my favorite number is 8. Not that that's relevant, but I like things in 8s. So let's get into the list. Number 1, fearing that your body is permanently damaged or fearing the pain or symptom. We know this. Fear perpetuates neuroplastic pain and mind-body concerns. And so, if people have, a tendency towards health anxiety, where they're really anxious and fearful about any sensations in their body, the brain starts to misinterpret things due to feeling in danger, and as a result, it starts to produce pain and physical symptoms, even though the body's okay. And so a big part of recovery that I focus on with people is actually working on reducing our fear of the pain or symptom and reducing our fear that the body's actually damaged. Number 2, stressful situations or life transitions. Now, this could be pleasant or unpleasant changes that are happening in your life, right? It could be a death in the family, it could be a job loss, it could be going to university and being stressed out, or getting more serious in a relationship, or having a baby, right? All of these things, all of these stressful situations increase the level of danger in the brain. And as a result, the brain can start to fire off pain or other physical symptoms. Now, typically, when I'm working with people, the stressful situation has passed and the pain's persisted. And this is because the pain-fear cycle starts to perpetuate this. And so, but we also need to work at, actually attending to stress differently when it happens, so that whenever a stressful situation happens, it doesn't spill over into pain. Number 3, resisting difficult emotions. A lot of people think that difficult emotions triggers mind-body issues, but it's actually resisting and suppressing difficult emotions that will cause a spike in symptoms. Now, Dr. Sarno talked about this, and Dr. Schubiner talks about it also a lot in his model, where we have difficult emotions that are typical for human beings to feel, whether it's sadness, anger, appropriate guilt, or fear. And then we use all these avoidance behaviors or ways to resist feeling emotions. And then we get this inhibiting symptom that starts to pop up, whether it's pain, fatigue, or other physical symptoms. So in treatment, it's not about getting rid of difficult emotions, it's actually learning to attend to them in the body, process them, and feel safe with them. And this is huge for recovery because I have difficult emotions all the time, and it's not spilling over into pain symptoms like it used to many years ago for me. And how I got there was actually learning to feel safe with the emotions as they're occurring. Number 4, anxiety or depression. Both of these mental health conditions can cause an increase and perpetuate neuroplastic pain or mind-body concerns. Whether you're feeling anxious and hypervigilant and on high alerts, or you're feeling low and in despair and hopeless, a lot of times this will start to trigger neuroplastic pain. These are all danger signals our brain sends us: anxiety, depression, pain, fatigue, and they tend to group up together. So when we get the danger signal of anxiety or depression, a lot of times it comes with pain or fatigue or other physical symptoms. And so getting treatment in therapy for anxiety and depression can be a really important step towards recovering from mind-body issues. Number 5, childhood adversity. We know that adverse childhood experiences contribute to a whole bunch of health conditions. There's been a lot of research to show this, including systemic disorders where there is a disease process that starts in the body. But with neuroplastic pain or mind-body issues, you are much more likely to develop chronic pain, and actually widespread chronic pain, if you faced childhood adversity. Now, this could be abuse, neglect, a parent being imprisoned, or a parent using drugs or alcohol, or having a mental health disorder themselves. All of these are adverse childhood experiences that affect us. They affect our nervous system. And so we kind of see this priming and triggering, right? Like if someone had a father that was extremely critical, and then all of a sudden when they age and they're adults, they have a boss that's really critical. What happens is they were primed as a child for this, criticism from a caregiver. And then when it happens with the boss, it can all of a sudden trigger physical symptoms. And so we see this, right? That childhood adversity later in life can trigger mind-body concerns. And so a lot of times when I'm working with people, it's about processing through this and finding ways to actually feel safe in their body again and regulate their nervous system. Number 6, trauma. Now this really connects with adverse childhood experiences, but also trauma in adulthood causes our brain and nervous system to feel in extreme danger. So whether this is a severe car accident or something like a sexual assault, right, or being assaulted in general, this can cause extreme trauma. And as a result, our brain and nervous system is constantly on high alert, it's hypervigilant, and then it can start to fire off other danger signals, including pain and fatigue. And so processing trauma with a good therapist can be really important to overcoming neuroplastic pain or mind-body issues. Number 7, perfectionism or people-pleasing. Perfectionism and people-pleasing are both coping mechanisms, and oftentimes they'll develop in our childhood, and then they kind of rev up as we become adults, and they're also reinforced by our society, unfortunately, right? Like being perfectionistic at work, most bosses are not going to complain about that because you're really productive and your work is perfect. But both of these cause our brain and nervous system to constantly be self-critical, be worrying all the time, and put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And so as a result, this causes us to be on high alert all the time, right? These coping mechanisms cause these high alert behaviors, and that's where the issue lies. And so we're not going to change someone's whole personality, but some of these traits can actually be dialed back. For myself, I am a recovering perfectionist. Certain weeks, certain months, I'll struggle more, but it's something that I've learned to do by dialing it back, and it's a really important step to unlearning your pain. Number 8, feeling unsafe in our body. Now, this item kind of combines every other item on the list that I've gone through so far. Whether it's anxiety or depression, or trauma, or just fear in general, or those coping mechanisms, all of these contribute to us feeling unsafe in our body. And when we feel unsafe in our body, we're more likely to have danger signals be fired at us. So a big part of treatment that I focus on with people is actually creating a sense of safety in the body and, learning to process emotions, feeling safe with emotions, feeling safe with pain or fatigue, whether you're using somatic tracking or some other technique. It's vital to create a sense of safety in our body, in our internal state. By doing this, I've seen people's pain symptoms reduce greatly or become eliminated. So I hope this list was helpful in getting you to think about what's triggering your neuroplastic pain or mind-body issues. So please put your questions or comments down below, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to release videos every week talking about neuroplastic pain and mind-body concerns. Take care.